afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our educational talk show. Today, we're going to discuss RA 10931, or the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act. This law aims to provide access to quality education for all Filipino students, especially those from low-income families. Joining us today is Miss Jessa and Miss Cherry, who will shed some light on the law's provision. Let's get started. Welcome, Miss Jessa and Miss Cherry. Can you sit down, please? Okay. So, how are you today? We are good. Are you doing well?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's good. So first, let's talk about Section 2 of RA 931. This section states that the government shall provide free tuition and other school fees for students enrolled in states, university and colleges, local universities and colleges, and state-run technical vocational institutions. Dr. Ms. Luares, can you tell us more about this provision?
Sure. So this provision is a significant development in our education system. With free tuition and other school fees, students can now have access to quality education without the financial burden. It also levels the playing field for all students regardless of their economic status. Thank you, Ms. Jessa. Moving on to the Section 5 is provision of establishes that the Section 4 pa. Kuya, lagi na rin. Move on to Section 4. Thank you, Ms. Jessa. Now, let's move on to the Section 4, which states that the government shall provide 5 tertiary education subsidy and financial assistant to students enrolled in private higher education institution. Ms. Jessa, can you explain this provision further?
So, yes, of course. This provision is essential in ensuring that all students have access to quality tertiary education. The subsidy and financial assistance cover not only tuition and other school fees, but also books, transportation, and other miscellaneous expenses. This provision helps reduce the financial burden on students and their families and encourage more students to pursue higher education.
So, thank you, Ms. Jessa. Moving on to the Section 5. This provision established the Tertiary Education Subsidy, or TIS, and Student Loan Program, or SLP, for students enrolled in private HEIS. Ms. Luares, can you discuss this further?
So, the TIS and SLP provide additional financial assistance to students who are not covered by the free tuition and other school fees provision. The TIS is a grant given to eligible students to cover their living expenses, while the SLP is a loan that students can avail to cover their tuition and other school fees. These programs aims to provide equal opportunities for students to access quality tertiary education.
Thank you, Ms. Luares. Thank you, Ms. Luares. Now, let's move on to Section 7, which provides the establishment of a student loan fund, SLF, and higher education support fund. Ms. Cherry, can you explain this provision further?
Yes, certainly. The SLF and HESF are both essential in ensuring that the government can provide the necessary financial assistance to students who want to pursue tertiary education. The SLF provides loans to eligible students who need financial support, while the HESF need financial support. Provides funds academic programs and facilities. These funds aim to improve the quality of education and provide better opportunities for students.
Thank you, Ms. Cherry. Moving on, Section 8, distribution mandates the creation of tertiary education sensation commission. Ms. Cherry, can you tell us more about this?
Sure, the TETC is responsible for overseeing the implementation of the law and ensuring that all its provisions are properly executed. The Commission is composed of members from various government agencies, educational institutions, and student organizations. The TETC ensures that the law is implemented effectively and the goals of the law are achieved.
So, next, can you tell us about the section 9?
So,
Cut.
thank you, Ms. Cherry. So now let's move on to Section 9. Can you tell us about more information about Section 9, please?
Section 9 requirements for COCS and LUCS. COCS and LUCS are hereby mandated to A. Establish a learning information system in accordance with the guidelines to be developed by the CHED in order to facilitate the tracking of students and their performance. Submit relevant information as determined by the CHED on school quality and performance. And for the last, formulate and submit to the CHED to the Joint Congressional Oversight Committee on Universal Access to Tertiary Education. Under Section 17 of this Act, a detailed SUC development plan updated every 10 years, which shall include plan for facilities and infrastructure development and explanation.
So, thank you. So, the next discussion is the Section 10. Ms. Cherry, can you please discuss what is Section 10 all about?
Section 10 is a quality standard for COC and LUC budget, TES and student loan programs. The CHED and the TISDA shall ensure quality standards in the review and consequent endorsement of the budget of the ECUS, SUCS, LUCS, and state-run PBIS. Respectively, the detailed design of the TES and student loan program shall also be subject to similar quality indicators defined by the UNIFAS board.
Okay, so thank you for answering, thank you for discussing the
RA 10931. So thank you for having us here. So hope you learned something about this RA. So
thank you, Ms. Jessa and Ms. Cherry. So let's clap our hands for the successful discussion. Next will be Ms. Clark. And now let's move on for our last guest. For the to go. And now let's move on to our last guest, which
Miss Clark, and she will be discussing about the Republic Act
10687.
So now let's move on, and Miss Clark will be discussing about the Republic Act 10687. So let's welcome Miss Clark. question to you about your topic. So the first question is, what is RA 10687 all about?
So, ang Republic Act number 10687 ang pinamagatang the act of providing for a comprehensive and unified student financial assistance or UNIFAS system for tertiary education ay nagbibigay tulong sa kolehiyo para sa mga mahihirap na estudyante. Malalaman din natin dito sa Section 5 ang mga saklaw ng UNIFAS kung saan ang UNIFAS ay dapat binubuo ng lahat ng umiiral ng moralidad or STOFA para sa tertiary education at special purposes education assistance na parehong publiko at pribadong institusyon kabilang na ang kanilang scholarship, grant in aid, student loan at ang mga programa ng gobyerno sa pakikipagtulungan sa iba pang stakeholders. Bukod pa dito ay kung saan ang pambansang pinuntuhan ay pinapatupad ng pambansa at lokal na ahensya ng pamahalaan.
So, thank you, Ms. Carr, for telling us what RA 10687 all about. So, I have a question. I have other question. So, how do the benefits can help the students in existing technical vocational scholarship programs under TESDA, Scholarship for Indigenous Peoples Rights Act, and National Agriculture and Fisheries Education System?
Well, Scholarship in TESDA or IPRA Indigenous People Rights Act and NAFES or National Agriculture and Fisheries Education System, the main goal is to provide quality technical education and training programs to Filipino citizens so they can be employed in various industries. The organization also aims to certify the competencies of workers in different fields, thus helping them to acquire better jobs and opportunities.
So, thank you. Ms. Palma, do you have a question to Ms. Clark?
Yes, okay. Miss Clark, can you tell us what is all about in Article 2, modalities of stock funds?
Sure. So, first of all, I would like to share about the Article 2, which is modalities of STOFACs. These modalities include scholarship, grant and aid, student loans, and other specialized forms for STOFACs formalize the UNIFAS board.
So thank you, Miss Clark. How about the Section 7? Section 7. How about the Section 6 scholarship?
So, the scholarship, a unified, improved, and expanded government-funded scholarship program shall be instituted to promote an environment conducive for the development of bright and talented students to serve the public good and enlarge the pool of world-class Filipino researchers, artists, innovation, thinkers, and leaders.
So how about the explanation of Section 7?
So, in Section 7, which is grant and aids, is all about the improvement of equality and facilitate democratic access to quality education given by income poverty and inequality. Grant and aid shall be made available to students belonging to poor families and marginalized sectors.
So Ms. Clark, Ms. Cherry have a question also.
And lastly, the Section 8, can you share what it's all about and in the National Student Loan Program?
Yes, sure. So, Section 8, ito ay nagbibigay sa mga estudyante ng panandalian at pangmatagalang tulong pinansyal para sa mga tertiary education. Sa programang ito, bale, may mga pananagutan sa mga parusa ang hindi nagbabayad ng utang. May mga insentibo rin ang nakutulong para sa epektibo at mahusay na pagkolekta ang pautang o ang pagbabayad dito.
So, Ms. Cherry, do you have a last question?
So next, in Article 3, please share what is it?
So in Article 3 is all about eligibility of applicants and terms of availment in Section 10. So malalaman natin dito ang mga minimum na kwalifikasyon ng mga aplikante, which is all about the board shall promote it and periodically review the qualification criteria of applicants for students, financial assistance, and applicants must meet the following minimum qualification, which is Filipino citizens, high school graduate and its equivalent from duty authorized institutions, possesses good moral character with no criminal record. Next is admitted to the HE or TBI included in the registered programs and institutions of the applicant's choice. Next is that in the case of applicants of TVED programs, he or she is an additional to the criteria referred above, pass the TESDA screening assessment procedure, competency and evaluations, and lastly is to declare he or she is already a beneficiary of any other student's financial assistance, including the government, STOFAX, and that's all.
So that's all. Thank you for sharing your ideas about the Republic Act 10687, or an act providing for a comprehensive and united student financial assistance or UNIFAS system for tertiary education. So thank you again, Ms. Clark. We learned a lot about this article.
So that's the end of our show. I hope you understand our guests.
I hope you understand all the RA that
we presented to you, we discussed to you. Thank